Education is core to our economy. But in order to guide our educational systems and maximize future income, we must understand the misalignment between education and our workforce. In my pursuit of higher education, I have earned 2 bachelor's degrees, 2 master's degrees, and am working on a PhD. This has cost me over $150,000. I've done all this because I believe formal education is important. Part of this belief came from seeing charts like this, presenting a correlation between higher degrees and higher income, showing on average that a person with a college degree earns far more money than the average person without a high school diploma. This perceived higher earnings for having a 4-year degree has fueled a college for all philosophy, causing educators and parents to encourage going to the university, any university, to major in anything in pursuit of future job security, social mobility, and financial prosperity. This philosophy has increased college enrollment, resulting in 66% of high school graduates in this country enrolling in higher education right after high school. That's 2 out of 3. Initially, they are deemed the successful ones, but what you won't see advertised is the reality that most drop out, and only a quarter of those that enroll will finish a bachelor's degree. Only after these few graduate do many of them start exploring careers. It is here that they discover that their degree may not have prepared them for the world of work. You may be well educated, but not every degree is direct preparation for employment. This misalignment between degrees and job skills causes half of university graduates to be underemployed in what are called gray-collar jobs, taking positions that do not require the education they have received at a cost that is more than they can afford. Conventional wisdom suggests that a university degree guarantees a higher salary, but with rising education costs, a shrinking job market, and the oversaturation of some academic majors in the workforce, this old advice is now a myth for a majority of students. The economy and the world have dramatically changed. Over the last 3 generations, we've gone from 13% of the population stepping into a college classroom to 60% attending some form of higher education. In 1960, when taking into account all jobs in the American economy, 20% required a 4-year degree or higher, 20% were technical jobs requiring skilled training, and 60% were classified as unskilled. But what's the right percentage to meet the labor market demand for tomorrow? In 2018, Harvard University predicts only 33% of all jobs will require a 4-year degree or more, while the overwhelming majority will be middle-skilled jobs, requiring technical skills and training at the credential or associate degree level. A 4-year degree may have many benefits, but think about the people you know who, from an economic perspective, inefficiently spent time and money to get a degree that perhaps they didn't really need for the career they are in. The true ratio of jobs in our economy is 1 to 7. For every occupation that requires a master's degree or more, 2 professional jobs require a university degree, and there are over half a dozen jobs requiring a 1-year certificate or 2-year degree. And each of these technicians are in very high-skilled areas that are in great demand. This ratio is fundamental to all industries. It was the same in 1950, the same in 1990, and will be the same in 2030. The hope for encouraging university education is that as the number of university-trained workers increases, the demand for their services in the workplace will increase as well. Unfortunately, this is not so. The whole pie may get bigger as the labor force and the economy grows, but the ratio will not change. The reality is, there will not be more professional jobs available within the labor market, and some professional jobs have been replaced by technology or are being outsourced. Well-intentioned attempts to send more and more students straight to the university will not change the types of jobs that dominate our economy, nor will a college-for-all mentality mask these labor market realities. The college-for-all rhetoric that has been so much a part of the current education reform movement is often interpreted as university-for-all. This message needs to be significantly broadened to a post-high school credential for all. Students at various educational levels have left school without employable skills, setting up our children for failure, costing them and taxpayers millions. All while the labor market is desperate for highly trained, skilled technicians. So, how do you position yourself for high-wage, in-demand jobs? Let's say you were considering a career as either an electrician or a business manager. You would find that the average annual income for electricians is $51,000. Only about half of the $105,000 average wage for management occupations. So at first glance, it looks as if getting a bachelor's degree in business is a no-brainer. But adding skills and ability into the picture adds a whole new dynamic. What if you have the potential to become an excellent electrician? but lack the skills and ability to be an excellent manager. Then you should be looking at projected incomes towards the bottom of the pay scale for managers and towards the top for electricians. You would then discover that electricians near the top of the pay scale make around $86,000, far higher than the income of a manager near the bottom of the pay scale at $52,000. Now, this is just one example, but the concept is true throughout all industries. The claim that you will make more money with an increased amount of education is not necessarily inaccurate, it's just incomplete. That advice is based just on the averages, but no one is perfectly average. Everyone has unique skills, talents, and interests. In fact, the income for the top individuals in a wide variety of skilled jobs that require an industry credential or 2-year degree is far higher than the average income for many occupations that require a 4-year degree. Nationally, associate degree earners range between $27,000 and $68,000, while bachelor's recipients earn between $34,000 and $97,000. But this data only accounts for the 25th to the 75th percentile of full-time adult workers. This means that 25% of associate degree holders earn more than $68,000 annually, and 25% of bachelor's degree holders earn less than $34,000. Our world has changed, and in this new economy, the university degree is no longer the guaranteed path towards financial success as it was for previous generations. And even if you do earn one, that education alone may not be enough. In today's highly technical, knowledge-based economy, having hands-on skills and perfecting what you're good at can be more valuable than getting a degree in something simply to get one. Employers want to know what you can do and what you can do well, not just what degree hangs on your wall. Since new and emerging occupations in every industry now require a combination of academic knowledge and technical ability, we need to ensure that we're also guiding students towards careers and not just to the university. So, before enrolling in classes or deciding what you're going to do next in your life, step 1 is self-exploration. In addition to your interests, really analyze your talents and strengths. Step 2 is career exploration. Understand the jobs available, the income ranges they pay, and evaluate the skills they require. Identifying an area that appeals to your interests, skills, and the labor market may be your first career. And then you can develop a tentative career plan, complete with multiple training and education options. The key is to align your interests and abilities with your first career choice and the education and training you'll need to receive. This alignment will help bring your future into focus and ensure your position at the top of the pay scale in your chosen career. What all this data shows is that success in the new economy is as much about acquiring the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed for in-demand occupations as it is to be well educated. Both paths may work for you, but education combined with technical training is how you ultimately secure a competitive advantage in the new economy. Community colleges are in the ideal position to provide over 70% of tomorrow's workforce with an education combined with applied technical skills, industry-driven credentials, and specific preparation for employment. Being a skilled craftsman or technician is highly valued. Investments in career education programs in high schools and community colleges will help all students obtain an education which includes technical training and preparation for the workplace. Ultimately, this is how all students can be successful. In the new economy, both education and technical skills are the new currency. Will you be ready?
All right, so as you can tell, we are going to dig in tonight to some alternatives to the 4-year degree. And before we start on that, I want you to know that I am a huge proponent of a 4-year degree if there are some ifs that align with that. If it aligns with your goals, your interests, and your aptitude. But again, that's not going to be our focus tonight. We're going to focus on some alternatives. We're going to talk about some terms that you may or may not be familiar with. One is on-the-job training, and that may be referred to as OTJ, and it's exactly what it sounds like. An employee is hired, they're trained, they learn the job kind of on the fly. The second one is apprenticeships, and you may be familiar with apprenticeships but not quite know how they work. Apprenticeships are really used in the skilled trades, and we're talking millwrights, carpenters, plumbers, masons, electricians, things like that. And I had a couple of videos, but because of my technology glitches in the beginning, I'm going to skip those just so we can make sure we get to all the information. When you join an apprenticeship or when you apply for apprenticeship, typically that's kind of a process. One would need to get hired by a company first. make it through the 60 to 90 day kind of trial period to make sure you're going to show up to work on time. You've got the aptitude and the skills, and then you can apply for the apprenticeship program. And again, apprenticeships are amazing because you get paid to go to school. And a lot of those programs are affiliated with community colleges or technical colleges, so that when you finish, if you choose to go on and get the general ed requirements as well, you can actually finish with an associate's degree, all paid for. College certificates, this is a great one. They allow students to obtain expertise in a field without really investing a lot of time. So depending on the subject, students can complete a certificate program in less than 6 months, because these programs are really only focused on one specific discipline and don't require the general education courses. College certificate credits may be transferable, so if you want to go on and finish a degree, then you can transfer those to most community colleges, or sorry, to most universities. I'm just going to show you quickly. The Community College of Aurora has over 40 certificates just itself. So let's see, will that let me scroll down? So this is their list. So if you've never been on their website or looked around, now's the time to start exploring. Look around and see what's out there. They have everything from law enforcement to paralegal to a film school. Community College of Aurora actually has a film school on site. Another option for training would be technical colleges, and Emily Griffith is an example of a technical college. They have about 28 programs in health, the skilled trades, IT, which is computers, the service industry, as well as business. Several of the apprenticeship programs that we're familiar with work through Emily Griffith. Emily Griffith also has an on-site student-run salon, barbershop, cafe, massage clinic, and a spa. On the screen, you'll see the Quick Start program. This is a free training that you can go to if you're interested in culinary. It's 3 weeks long. You come out with a ServSafe certification. It's a great way to step into that industry. Pickens is the other technical college that's closest to us right here in our area, and they have about 50 certificate programs. And again, most of these would then be transferable to a community college if one wanted to go on and get their degree. The Colorado Home Building Academy, they offer a free construction skills boot camp, and it's about 4 weeks long. Again, the training is totally free. Upon completion of the trade during the program, you get exposed to a bunch of different trades. If you find one that you're really interested in, they will then help you with job placement. And then from there, you could apply for apprenticeship. Job Corps. So we just had a meeting this evening with Job Corps to hear about their updated programming. Job Corps has been around for about 50 years, and it is a totally free, federally funded training program. Provides housing for students, career training. They help with job placement afterwards. There's medical care offered on campus. And again, students live on a campus in a dorm room with roommates. You're provided meals, a career uniform. They have extracurricular activities for students to participate in. Again, free training, and ages 16 to 24. South Denver School of Nursing Arts is a CNA program. It's a 4-week accelerated program, and the CNA is really a great entry-level training into the healthcare field. The CNAs come with AED, CPR, and first aid training, and the CNAs are really responsible for a wide range of patient care. So if you're thinking you want to get into the medical field, but you're not really sure where or how, getting a CNA is a great start. We also have that program at the CCIC, and I know it's extremely, extremely popular. So I would encourage you to check out any of these websites that I just showed you, and I picked these pathways purposefully. The pathways that I just showed you are the ones that employ the most people in our state. And you can see there are a lot of free training options if you know how to find them. So another way to increase your workforce readiness is to attend career fairs. And the district usually has one every year, but because of our current circumstances, we're actually going to have a virtual one this year. And so the district is partnering with a group of state agencies along with the Colorado Workforce Development Council to offer this free statewide career fair. And it's going to be April 19th through the 22nd. And we'll have more information coming out about that later, but if you wanted to go ahead and get those dates on your calendar now, I would do it. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit here, and we're going to talk about, instead of the post-secondary lens where we're really talking about the technical side, we're talking about gaining hard skills, we're going to talk about how and why you should get a job in high school. And the major reason is to grow those things called soft skills. Do you have sound?
When it comes to work skills, they can be broken down into two types: hard skills and soft skills. They're pretty different from one another, but both are necessary to be successful in the job. Let's take a look at the differences between the two. Hard skills are concrete skills that are specific to your job and are required for you to actually do your work. For example, if you're a chef, cooking would be a hard skill. Or if you're a computer programmer, coding would be an example. Soft skills, on the other hand, are interpersonal or people skills that can be used in every job. These include communication, teamwork, and adaptability. Hard skills are generally learned through school, training, or previous work experience. They're more objective, meaning that once you've learned the information or task, you would then possess that skill. Soft skills are more difficult to develop. You'll need to practice them over time in the real world with others. They come naturally to some people, while others may not have such an easy time with them. Hard skills are easy to measure. Employers can get a good idea of your hard skills by looking at your education, previous experience, and certifications. Soft skills are harder to evaluate. They can't really be communicated well through your cover letter or resume. Instead, employers usually have to wait until an interview or your first few weeks on the job to get a good idea of your soft skills. Despite their differences, you'll need both hard and soft skills if you want to become more hireable or be successful in your current job.
So really, overall, soft skills are the ones that are going to enable you to fit in the workplace. And research has actually found that employers care more about your soft skills than your hard skills or your technical skills. So it's that ability to connect with other humans, to form relationships. It's really the best way to advance in the workplace. So some specific soft skills that employers really want to see. In most jobs, you're going to be a member of a team, and you're going to need to be able to utilize communication skills in order to meet any type of company goal or shift goal maybe that day. And by taking a job in high school, you can get a feel what it's like to be independent, get your own schedule, maybe start a personal calendar. When you can manage your time, then you can take on more responsibilities, and more responsibilities really equal more experience. Working in high school, you need to learn the value of money, and really the best way to learn that is to earn it yourself. And then finally, start to build your resume while you're in high school. Retail, fast food, babysitting, pet sitting, all of those jobs are real jobs. And if you had to interview for that job, then you had to earn it. That's called competitive employment, and all of that experience looks great on a resume. I know you're wondering, but what if I have no experience? Well, no problem. Get involved in something. Do something in your community, your church, whatever organization you might be involved in. I think you'd probably be surprised if you sat down and started working on kind of a resume. You're probably involved in more than you think. Ultimately, though, if you're going to decide to get a job in high school, you really need to have some parent buy-in. And parents, a lot of times this is up to you, and there's some things that you need to think about before your student starts to pursue a job. So a couple things. Does your student want to work? Have they started asking, can I get a job? What do you think about this? What's transportation look like? Because a lot of times that can fall back on the parent. And if not, can your student access public transportation? What's availability? What does that look like? And that's going to be part of the application process, and a student will have to put that on the application. So you're going to want to have that conversation. If you have commitments on the weekends, things like that, it may not be the best time to apply. Are there any needs? Does your student want or need to save for college? Maybe pay for insurance, gas, or a cell phone? Maybe they will after they get a job. And the job that your student gets, it may or may not be linked to their career area of interest, but they are going to learn some skills that will translate into every industry, and those are those soft skills. So that if you've decided that you're ready for a job, now what do? You start with a resume. And again, you'd probably be surprised at the things that you can put on it. Qualities that you have, clubs, organizations, volunteer experience. Have you had experience with a second language, or are you bilingual? Any CTE classes that you've taken, of course your work history, certifications that you've earned, maybe CPR, first aid, maybe you're a lifeguard, maybe you've already gotten Serve Safe from a class that you've taken. And then don't forget, you're going to need references. Please, please, please talk to your references before you put them down, so that Mr. Epper doesn't get a phone call from Jimmy John's asking about John to see if he'd be a good worker. So always alert your references and make sure you get their permission. We're going to check out a couple of resumes, and this is what we're hoping by the time you finish at Grandview, maybe this is what your resume looks like. You've got some skills, you've got your education, maybe you've been involved in culinary or some other events, some other kind of clubs or organizations. Maybe you have some work experience by the time you're done. If not, your resume could look like this. And it's hard to kind of fill that white space. So keep track of things that you do, any certifications, like I said, along the way, any industry-related courses that you've taken, anything through CTE, honors level, AP level, anything like that looks great. Okay, speaking of classes, what kind of classes are you taking? Be really mindful of that. There are so many great experience opportunities right here at your fingertips for free. And just to give you a visual, these are the CTE pathway courses offered here in our building. They are fantastic, as well as the courses you could eventually take at the CCIC. So take advantage right now of all of the exploration that you can while it's free. Okay, back to getting ready for employment. You're ready to apply. How do you find a job? Use your connections. Talk to your friends. Anybody you know already have a job. If not, you see a Subway on Saturday when you're getting a sandwich is hiring. If you're not dressed appropriately, don't ask. If you are, ask. Are you currently accepting applications? And then the next question should be, what is the minimum hiring age? If you apply somewhere, you want to keep track of it. A lot of times you're going to have to create an account with a username and a password. If you forget that, it can definitely be a pain if your username is already taken. You get an interview, plan your wardrobe. Think ahead a little bit. No ripped jeans. Jeans are okay, just nothing ripped up, no t-shirts. And then be prepared to ask a question. Ask a question about training. Do you have the ability to cross-train in just something? But go into an interview prepared with a question. When you're done with your interview, take some notes. What questions were hard? What tripped you up? Who interviewed you? Do you remember the person's name? And did you get a business card? Right now, in our current situation, you're probably going to be interviewing in a mask. You need to learn to communicate non-verbally. Smile with your eyes is what we say. Be engaged and nod your head, but you've got to let them know that you're listening. If you have a chance, send an email to follow up and make sure you say thank you when you leave. If you take your resume in with you, take a folder. It's great to have a folder in an interview so you have some place to put jittery hands so you're not picking at the hole on your pants or just scratching your leg. Have something to do with your hands. And then set up your voicemail on your phone. Make sure it's your voice, it's your name, it's your phone number. Then an employer knows they have the right number when they give you a call. Start practicing counting money. A lot of times, high school jobs will involve a cash register. If you don't have a lot of experience with money, start practicing now. Get a change jar at home. Get used to doing it and doing it quick. Okay, this is the big one. Check your email. If you submit an application and you do not check the email that you put on the application, then you are probably missing a step. You may have to, first of all, verify the account. There also could be a talent assessment or a behavioral assessment that employers have you fill out. And they do this to make sure that you are going to be a good fit for their company. If you're taking this at home, you need to do it in a quiet place where you can focus, because in my experience, this is one way that a lot of students get weeded out, is they do not do well on the behavior assessment. One more thing to consider when you're looking at jobs is timing. If you are looking for summer employment, you want to start that probably in March. If you're looking for seasonal employment, you're going to want to start that in October. And remember, seasonal is temporary, and that's not a bad thing. To have temporary or seasonal employment on your resume, that's great. Any type of experience is awesome. I would say if you've been listening to me and you're like, okay, this is all great information, lady, but I actually already have a job, then I would tell you to keep it. Make sure you've got great established work history. Update your resume with your current title, the duties that you're performing, your current supervisor, if you had a good relationship for that person. Make that person a reference. And then ask, can I cross-train? I'm in electronics at Walmart. Can I go learn health and beauty? Are there scholarship opportunities? There are several businesses that will provide scholarships if you apply for them and you've worked for them for a certain amount of time. Is there tuition reimbursement? Yes. If you get a job out at the Gaylord and work for the Marriott, you can go and then pursue a degree and they will pay a portion of your training. And then maybe you like your job. Maybe you want to stay at Walmart and work your way up to a store manager. Do they have management training opportunities? And I would say overall, there are, again, so many resources at your fingertips. If you've not done the assessments that are available on Naviance, do those. I'm going to show you one of my favorites. It's called My Next Move. And the great thing about My Next Move is it's connected to the Department of Labor, and you can actually take this survey right here. It will connect you to occupations that are your best fit. You can watch virtual job shadows on those occupations, and then you can actually see how much is the average salary, what's the job outlook in my area, are there training opportunities available. So My Next Move, I would say, is one of my favorite resources. Mr. Eppard, you tell me when I'm done. I'm just going to fly the last bit through some community resources. AD Works is the local workforce center. It's a member of the Department of Labor. They utilize a website called Connecting Colorado. You can post your resume here and get connected to all kinds of jobs across our state. Again, think about the classes that you're taking. Are they a good fit for you? Explore it while it's free. Get into some CTE classes. Get to the CCIC if you have a chance, and then get a job.
Awesome, Erin. Thank you so much.
Questions?